Well, Our Victory is going to bring a couple of new things to the World War II genre that we think are unique and are going to really give the player something exciting to play.
Lay down suppressing fire!
What's new in Our Victory?
Sure, some of the things that are different about Our Victory than some of our competitors' games are the 3 different characters you can play. There's Ross, the British commando, whose gameplay style is more geared towards like a run and gun, action-oriented frontal assault gameplay. Second character is Bull, and Bull's an army ranger, and his gameplay style is more based on sniping. He can do things like control his breath, stop weapon sway. He can use his rope and hook to climb special sniper vantage points the other characters can't get to. And the third character is Taggert. Taggert's a covert operative. His gameplay style is more like sneaking or stealth gameplay. So we can do things like when he crouches, he doesn't make any noise, sneak up behind enemies and do silent kills. You can also do things like pick locks, cut barbed wire, a lot of things that are about basically keeping quiet and trying not to draw too much attention to yourself.
The majority of the game you can play with whichever characters you want to, and each of the levels are set up to allow the player to really choose which character they want to. There are a couple of areas in the game that are kind of highlighted towards a particular point of view, a particular skill set, but for the most of the time it's up to the player to choose whichever one they want to.
How do you choose your character and how do you switch between them?
We've tied in switching the characters with the save points in the game, so that throughout the level they'll be sprinkled what we're calling radio points or radio checkpoints, and then eventually what you can do is get to that radio point and you can signal one of the other characters, and that'll bring the other character in, and you can switch that character then to the new point of view, and then you can run out into the level and play the level however that character does.
Now, depending on which particular character they are, those skills can be employed in different methods. So if you were playing as Ross, who's really good at frontal assaults, but you got into a room and it seemed like there was a little bit more than you wanted to handle, you saw a rope and hook section that could be used by the ranger, you may want to go back to the radio rally point, switch over to the ranger, climb up to that, use that rope and hook, get up to that special sniper vantage point, and soften up the enemy via that method rather than doing a frontal assault.
Depending on which character you choose, you kind of get a different experience or different kind of take on that level. The other one is how we're using vehicles, which is much more open fashion than you'll see in some other games. In a lot of games where if you're in a vehicle level, that's all you do in that level is basically drive that vehicle. But in Our Victory, you can actually get in the vehicle, you can get out of the vehicle, you can drive it, you can not use it. It really depends on how you want to do that level.
The game takes place in 3 different main campaigns, all which have multiple levels. The first campaign is the North African campaign, second campaign takes place in the Bavarian Alps, and third campaign takes place in Berlin right at the end of the European theater of the war. Well, we are an Xbox 360 exclusive. We are going to have online multiplayer, which means you can expect Xbox Live full functionality with matchmaking, player matches, rank matches. We've got 3 gameplay modes that are going to be in the game. 2 are traditional first-person shooter gameplay modes. One's a team deathmatch mode with Axis versus Allies. Second is a capture the flag mode with Axis versus Allies. And the third gameplay mode is called Devastation. And we're not talking about too much about it just yet because we want to wait till we can, instead of actually talking about it, we can show you about it. So just before we ship and comes out in June, we're gonna have a special feature just on Devastation. Kind of the basic synopsis of the story is the 3 characters you get to play, Ross, Bull, and Taggert. They've all been specifically handpicked by High Allied Command to stop a secret weapons program that the Germans are employing that would change the tide of war if they were successful. So it's basically the story of, it's a historical fiction story that is basically these 3 characters that are going around through different World War II battles trying to stop this weapons program and the enemies that are responsible for that weapons program. We want to make it authentic to the point where the weapons, the vehicles, the locations, the uniforms, we want to make sure that that's authentic, but the main goal is to provide a fun experience. We want to, and give the player that real feeling of an action movie experience. We feel like the games that really try to be the most authentic, that's already been a well-served portion of the market, and we feel that more of an action movie feel with a World War II backdrop really hasn't been serviced as well, and that's the area that we felt that Our Victory really could provide a new experience for players. We are using the Unreal Engine 3 technology, which also runs very well on other platforms like the PC platform. So in the future, it's possible that we would do a different platform, but right now the entire team is focusing on making an Xbox 360 game as best we can.
Could you tell me a little about the connection between the game and the castle where we are?
We drew a number of inspirations for when we were making Our Victory, and one of the levels that takes place in the Bavarian Alps level has a lot of inspiration from the movie Where Eagles Dare. There's a fortress, a castle fortress on top of a mountain like in the movie, and our feel for the game is, again, more about like action movie sequences than like of a somber, authentic realm. So it seemed like a really good fit for us in terms of, and we were really happy. We were actually really happy to be able to get this venue where they actually did the filming for, or a lot of the filming for Where Eagles Dare. So I think it really fits really well with the level that we're showing and the tone and feel for the game. I think when you look at the North Africa levels, you'll see areas that are both visually and tonally also take inspiration from movies like Indiana Jones, where run around the desert when they're fighting the Germans there. You'll see a lot of things, like real high action impact things. When you see explosions, you'll see guys maybe fly a little bit farther than they normally would. We want to really reinforce that action movie feel in Our Victory.